What's up, MFFLs? Harrison Graham here from Chat Sports, back with another video. We haven't had one the last day or two because NFL free agency has been hot. But you know who's also hot? Spencer Dinwiddie in the Dallas Mavericks. And yeah, he's happy to be in Dallas. And why wouldn't he been? He's fit perfectly next to Luka Doncic and the rest of this team. Jason Kidd is kind of just letting him play his game without, forcing a ton of plays into the offense when he's in the game. He has fit perfectly. He's played well, and the confidence, which has never been a problem, is even less of a problem because he's been shooting the lights out of it as well. You look back at that Boston game over the weekend on Sunday, took that three with confidence, knocked it down with about 10 or 11 seconds left to help put that game on ice. And, he's been getting key buckets at key times, and he's been confident since he's come over. And I think, 10-3 since the Mavs made that trade for Dinwiddie and Bertans. And Dinwiddie, obviously, the main focus on that after shipping out Kristaps Porzingis. Here's what Dinwiddie said recently about joining Dallas. I've been in a lot of places in my career. I've been in a lot of different situations. Your work environment can be kind of like dating sometimes, right? You want the person that wants you, simple as that. At the end of the day, you want to be able to have peace in your environment. You want somebody to want you and to let you be you. Obviously, when it's coming top down, Cuban, Kidd, Luka, if they inspire confidence and accept me, then I appreciate that with all of my heart. And he makes a lot of good points. Like I mentioned, Kidd's letting him play his game. Luka, after he knocked down that three, how fired up he was. I think he's taken him in, and he's had a couple of quotes publicly, too, about how critical and how awesome he has been. Dinwiddie playing at this level makes the Mavs a legitimate contender in the Western Conference. I truly believe that. Now, we'll see if he can keep these splits up because he's never shot the ball like this in his career, but I would argue he's never fit on a team like he has with the Mavs in his career either. 17.5 points, 4.5 dimes, over 50% from the field. I can't imagine he'll keep shooting the three ball like this, but even if he settles in 37-38%, that's still a much better number than what he's shot in his career, which has been low mid-30s. He's been awesome. I love his fit. He can start. He can come off the bench. He doesn't care what his role is as long as he's allowed to play his game, and he's been playing it very, very well. If you like what Spencer Dinwiddie has brought to the table and how he has played so far, type 26, which of course is his number. Show Spencer Dinwiddie some love in the comments. I don't see how you couldn't love what he's brought to the table because he's been absolutely fantastic. Please subscribe to the channel if you want more Mavericks news and rumors. I think Dallas has about 14 more games until the NBA playoffs get here. And later on in the video, we'll talk about how Dallas can move up in the seeding. So stay tuned for that. More news, rumors, offseason coverage to break down as well. YouTube.com/MavsTV. And I told y'all a couple of weeks ago, if we get enough new subscribers, we might kick off some watch parties in the playoffs as well. Those will be a lot of fun. Subscribe. Don't miss any of it. We transition from Dinwiddie's play to a little offseason buzz. Are the Mavs going to make a splash, a major trade this offseason? We'll see. I would guess probably not, but John Hollinger and Tim Cato of The Athletic kind of explored this topic because after moving on from Porzingis' contract, you all of a sudden have, a grouping of players that are much easier to trade if you do want to go get that big fish. Here's what John Hollinger had to say, quote, "Cap space is really no longer an option now that Luka is on a supermax. Moreover, putting together trades with middle-class contracts like Bertans, Dinwiddie, I would throw Hardaway in there as well. It's just a lot easier than doing it with a max or near-max deal like Porzingis. Post-trade, the Mavs have 6 contracts between $10 million and $20 million. Brunson might make it 7 if he re-signs. They all have varying expiration dates too. Overall, there's just a lot of flexibility to make that home run trade at virtually any point in the next 2 years. And now, you get beyond that that initial KP trade, you've got some draft capital as well. You've got 2022, 25, 27 first-round picks that you can ship out if you are Dallas. So you've got some assets that on draft night that you can start to move moving forward here. But I think the key is those 6 contracts between 10 and 20 million. Those are contracts that can move easily in the NBA, and the Mavs have a lot of those, and I thought it was a good point. Moving Porzingis' contract was always going to be difficult. They were able to do it without having to give up a first, and they got a key asset in return in Dinwiddie if they want to move him for a bigger piece. These are the current tradable assets for Dallas. Obviously, Tim Hardaway is currently hurt, but this offseason, assuming his medicals check out, that's a contract you can move. Jalen Brunson's going to re-sign. You could move him at the deadline next year if you really wanted to. And again, again, I'm not saying I want to do any of this, but you have the flexibility to do so. Dorian Finney-Smith, Dwight Powell, Reggie Bullock, even Davis Bertans, Maxi Kleber, Spencer Dinwiddie. There's a chance that one or two of these guys get dealt for a different piece because, A, you can move these contracts, and B, I think Dallas would like to bring a big in here this offseason because I don't know if you want to go with the Kleber-Powell pairing next year as your primary combination there. I would like to bring in a more legitimate big, so maybe you trade one of those guys along with maybe like a Tim Hardaway to bring in a decent big in here. I think that could be an option for the Dallas Mavericks. And like they said, you're not going to be able to really sign big free agents. You're not going to have much cap space, especially after you re-sign Jalen Brunson, which I fully expect to happen. So moves you make are going to have to be via trade, and that's really what Dallas has done the last decade anyway. The big moves they have made historically, whether they've worked or not, have been trades. Rajon Rondo, obviously that one didn't work out. Kristaps Porzingis, mixed results. The point being, when they've brought guys in here, notable names, more often than not, it's been via trade for the Dallas Mavericks. Now, will the Mavs make a splash this summer? I would say for an all-star type of player. That's what I would qualify for a splash. Type S for splash, type Q for stay quiet. They're not going to do much. They'll bring back Brunson and roll with their current core. I would guess to start the year that's what they would do, but maybe at the deadline next year they could make a splash depending on how this group is playing. Now, March Madness is upon us, folks. The NCAA tournament fully gets going on Thursday. I've already filled out my bracket. Hopefully you guys have as well. And you can go bet on individual games and who you think is going to win the national championship with our sponsor, BetUS. Get started, chatsports.com/MFFL. Use that promo code MFFL to get a 125% deposit bonus. These are the current favorites, so win it all. Some Baylor fans probably in the chat. I'm a TCU alum, so I hope Baylor loses in the first round. But if you want to bet on Baylor, you can do that. Kansas plus 1,000. Texas is in the tournament. Texas Tech, a lot of good Texas schools. Houston's in there as well. If you have another team in mind, go bet on them. Chatsports.com/MFFL. Promo code MFFL. And like I said, you can obviously bet on individual games as well. Speaking of individual games, the Mavs got the Nets coming up in Brooklyn tonight, 6:30 Central Time, since it's an East Coast game. And this is a big one for a couple of reasons. One, Dallas has caught up to the Utah Jazz in the Western Conference. Utah currently has the tiebreaker, but if they win tonight, they would overtake the 4 seed in the West, which is big. And quite frankly, I don't think they're going to catch up to 3, Golden State or Memphis, regardless of who it ends up being, because Golden State, all of a sudden, they've won 4 in a row. They've kind of figured things out a little bit. Draymond Green is coming back. And Memphis keeps winning, man. So you're probably looking to get that 4 seed to at least get home court against Utah, because I think that's critical, because Dallas over the years has had trouble winning in Utah. That's one of the tougher arenas to play in the National Basketball Association, so getting that home court would be big. Another reason tonight's game is big is you get to avoid Kyrie, who literally had 60 points last night. By the way, I love Steve Nash, but kind of a fraud for not letting Kyrie finish that game and go for 70, 75 points. But that's neither here nor there on that front. I'm just glad the Mavs don't have to play him tonight. So who you got in this game tonight? Type DAL for the Mavericks, type BKN for the Brooklyn Nets. Big opportunity for Dallas to move up to that 4 seed with less than 15 games to go. Get your votes in, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time here on Dallas Mavericks Today.